Any bowling club around Australia to survive needs good volunteers, and we've got the Volunteer of the Year award here in Bowls, WA, and it's Graeme Jacques. How are you? Oh, sorry, Graeme Jacques. Yes.
Doesn't matter, Brad.
Yes.
Doesn't matter.
Well, it does, because we had Phil Jacques that played for Australia, and same spelling, same name.
Spelling,
yeah. So where does that name originate from, Jacques?
Early English, Basque French, that sort of area. Family believes the Basque area in France. We just Jacques, so we say most probably English.
Yeah,
It's
right.
one of those things.
Was it wine country over there?
The Basque area is the lower hilly area, yeah.
Yeah, rightio. So have you visited there? No? Haven't visited there. Well,
Like to.
Like to? Rightio. So you're the Volunteer of the Year award for Bowls WA. You're out the Maylands Bowling Club. When did you first start here as a volunteer?
Well, as a volunteer, I'd say the late 70s.
Yeah.
In the 1977, thereabouts, I came down with my father, not to this club here,
Yeah.
but to the original bowling club, which is behind the Maylands Town Hall, just off Guildford Road. Pretty big hive of happenings, businesses around, all those sort of things. So situation was I was playing a lot of amateur football, coaching, and a couple of the guys who had been at the amateurs before me started bowling at Maylands. They said, come down for scrams on Tuesday night. So late 70s, father and I decided summer, we'll get down and do a bit of bowling and see how things go. So from there, I'm one of those sort of people that if you join a club, you become involved in it. And so, in a way, my volunteering started right back.
So from day one you rocked up at that bowling club, you got right on the board, you got on the volunteer list.
Well, I was helping with the raffles and the bits and pieces, even though I was in my late 20s, but always wanted to be a part of the club and always wanted to see the club survive. And small clubs need volunteers. And even down here now, just about every bowler here, 35, 40 bowlers in a year, they all volunteer. And Wednesday's big volunteer day. So out with the greenkeeper, making sure all the greens and everything. And as you can see, most probably in the background, the little bit of the surround of A green is all done by volunteers.
It's a beautiful spot, but I just want to go back. Moving from Guildford Road down to here, what was the main reason for that?
Council.
Council?
At that time, Maylands was part of the city of Stirling.
Right.
And you can imagine Stirling going from Scarborough to Maylands, Swan River.
Yeah.
The club always felt, with the tennis club at the time, which weren't part, the clubs were separate, decided that the council would prefer the land up near Guildford Road to do other things, which are possibly more beneficial to them. And there was two sites that were looked at. The one is here down at the end of Clarkson Road on the river, well, not quite on the river, and Barden Park, which is where the Maylands Yacht Club is, around that area. The consensus came, and I was only on the committee at the time, but the consensus of the committees that were running it decided that coming down here was the best thing.
Was it a decisive decision?
Well, it was basically council and the steering committee, this is your move.
This is the move.
So all his facilities down here in 1980, 81 were brand new. Raised off the mud flats, so it's still on mud flats. Still half the clubs is in what you would call the 100-year flood area.
Yep.
So, and looking out on the mud flats today, you can see quite a bit of water. So it's one of those situations. But in the early years, coming down here, no housing. Came down as far as Tranby, which was the latest development at the time. Then you had the brickyards, clay pits, nothing else.
Nothing else?
Nothing else, other than the houses across the road here in Clarkson Road.
So how was it with the members coming down here for the first time with nothing around?
Initially, members jumped at the occasion because it was new facilities.
Yep.
But even in those early years, 2 mile down the river, police academy down the road, people decided, well, is it really worthwhile coming down on Friday nights?
So the police academy put them off.
A lot of them, yeah.
Was that when drink driving came into play at that stage?
So I can tell you a lot of stories about that, how we got people home. But
how did you get people home?
Well, the classic story is I came down in the government vehicle one Friday night after work, and I shouldn't really say this, but
say it, come on.
And I saw the police sergeant setting up 50 metres up the road from the club.
Yep.
So I drove into the club, picked up my father and his mate, and said to the others, if you're wanting to leave the club, you leave the club now, because they're setting up a check. So I went out first, took off, got pulled in, and the police sergeant said, you've just come out of the bowling club, you've been drinking. I said, no sir, I haven't been drinking. I said, these guys might have been, but I haven't. And he said, well, I'm going to take your breath. I said, well, you can, but I said, if a government employee driving a government vehicle was breathalyzed and found over the limit, what would happen? So he looked at the number plates, they were WA number plates, and he waved me on. And the rest of the time, everyone had moved on. So,
had you had a drink?
No.
No, right.
Because at that time, it was one of those situations where I'd lost my licence a couple of years earlier.
Right.
And I gave up drinking at the time.
Well, that's a good reason to give up drinking. Now, moving down here with the mud flaps, what was the hardest thing to get the greens up and running and consistent?
Well, initially the greens were very good.
Yeah.
But with the mud flats, seepage.
Yeah, yeah.
So the greens closest to the river, you could always see every couple of years, 3-5 centimetres drop away.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's a common saying down here and around the club or around clubs. You got downhill and uphill.
Yeah.
So you're driving up to Guildford Road, coming up from the river, or you see the bowlers roll off, or they keep rolling.
Well, on Sea Green there, you've got a little corner which is is down there, and I was talking to one of the club members, Tom.
Tom, yeah.
You bowl down and then you bowl up, and the bowl only goes halfway, gets halfway up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why we're not playing on Sea Green at the moment, because it's just too much work to go in for a small club.
Yeah.
We've been very lucky. Well, no, not sure if this is a question, but been very lucky the last few years. After a lot of hard effort in trying to build up membership and get the people involved, it's always been a family club.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what I love about this club.
Yeah.
It's a family club. Everyone wants to help.
Yeah.
And so you come down, you're all part of the family.
Yeah.
Just like your family at home, your part, you come into the club. I find that in a lot of bigger clubs, that family orientation is gone.
Yeah.
You know, you've got maybe little groups. Whereas here, smaller club, everyone is part of it, and everyone's working to help each other. But where was I going? Over the years, really struggled.
Yeah.
Tennis club over to Uganda, really struggled.
Yeah.
Because the council built 2 separate buildings.
Right.
Not one. But I'm not saying that against the council.
Yeah.
But the last few years, we're now under the City of Bayswater.
Yeah.
It's been a struggle. The bowling club became a sport and recreation club, which includes now dragon boating, outriggers, darts, but it always included darts. But these other sporting clubs, small, every club 40, 50 members, has made a bigger club. And a new management committee on the sport and rec, which I'm treasurer of now. So I'm president of the bowls, treasurer of the, mainly to keep stability all round. Because for many years, the sport and rec, even though I was president at the time, didn't want to give the bowlers anything towards the greens.
Right.
City of Bayswater, more or less mentioned, sports and rec has to maintain some effort in maintaining the club and the greens.
Yeah.
So After many years, City of Bayswater brought in a new turf management agreement with bowling clubs,
Yep.
which was unheard of for a long time. And now, for the last 4 years, the percentage of your bowls budget, greens budget, has been covered by the City of Bayswater.
Right.
So, you have a budget, and we've got a part-time greenkeeper, which has allowed us, through this, it's allowed us to put John on.
Yep.
20 hours a week, fortnight.
Yeah.
20 hours a week. But that has made a big difference.
Yeah.
Just that small percentage from the City of Bayswater helping smaller clubs. So this year, say a budget of 50,000, you got 37.5%
Yeah.
of your budget covered by the City of Bayswater, which then allows the bowlers to put in the extra effort in the greens, making bigger effort. I'll come on to that in a minute. And then the city also said to the Sport and Recreation Club, because the licence is under the bowl, was originally for the bowling club, you've got to assist in maintaining the bowling greens.
Right.
So the last 3 years, the Sport and Rec and the City of Bayswater assisted in the green side of the club, which then allows the bowlers to do all the voluntary work on the greens and around the surrounds as their portion back to the clubs, or back to the club,
Yeah.
and helping. And this is what I say, small club, family, they all want to help the club.
Oh.
This year, we're being lucky, we've applied for a government grant.
Yep. Perfect.
Perfect. The bowlers received $30,000,
Yep.
and the Sport and Recreation received $30,000.
Right.
So the bowlers got the money to assist in the greens. Sport and Rec, who run the facility as the umbrella club, actually got the money to improve the inside of the club.
Well, that's brilliant, isn't it?
It is great,
Yeah.
and we're still able to get that additional money from the City of Bayswater in the coming year to assist in the greens. So it's given the guys a big kick along. We're able to assist the greenkeeper, John,
Yep.
with some new equipment coming in,
Yep.
which is ideal for a club that hasn't spent a lot of money on equipment.
We need good equipment.
Good equipment. The shades that we've got up, we're buying retractable shade cloth, so the bowlers don't have to continually raise, work hard. We're able to do some of this additional support, and we're putting money into upgrading B green as well, which is our second green.
Yeah.
And through that also we've been able to, over the last few years predominantly, even though a lot of work has gone into the community and trying to encourage community down to the club, we've had food trucks, we've had all the different bits. You find for 3 or 4 months they go really well and then peters off.
Yeah.
This year we've concentrated with the Sport and Rec and said, right, let's just concentrate on community Friday nights.
Yeah.
Bowls, we're going to work on better meals, sausage sizzle or other small meals, and bowls, and through that we've already got 18 new members.
Well, that's sensational.
They're not going to, I don't think a lot of them will be pennant bowlers,
Yeah.
but it's new membership, it's new blood into the club. So building the family even stronger. So little ways like that we've been able to improve ourselves. But as I said, I'm just one of many volunteers around this club. I might be the glue, but makes sure a lot of the things get done.
Yeah.
Like being down here, other than Tom, the first one down, I'm always the last one to leave.
Right.
Just making sure everything is neat and tidy. Because you don't leave something neat and tidy after you're gone. One of the other clubs will say, well, it was a bit of a mess when we came in.
Yeah.
And I've said to the bowlers, we don't want that to happen. We're part of this bigger family.
Yeah.
Let's do our part to assist the rest of the club.
Well, that's perfect. You need all those volunteers, and just want to go back on a Wednesday. Everyone comes up, or comes down here to help out.
Yeah.
What's a typical day for a volunteer here on a Wednesday?
Well, I don't come down. that's one because I usually do some voluntary work with a mission group, church group,
Yeah.
Tuesdays and Wednesdays. But The guys will come down, they'll do all the surrounds, make sure the green's right. John, the greenkeeper's got any additional work, maybe a bit of coring or bits and pieces, they'll do that. They'll attend to the gardens, make sure the rose garden and bits and pieces are done. Some of the ladies, they'll come down, they'll give the inside of the club a big clean. The once a week, good clean. And then after functions, there's bits and pieces. We'll be getting down, say 7 to 10 every Wednesday.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Which, as the greenkeeper says, for a small club, I've had more volunteers helping me than I got from a bigger club. That's promotion for these guys who want to get down and make sure everything is good. Before Saturday or Thursday pennants, someone's down here giving the greens an extra roll. So those little bits and pieces. So I'm just one of many volunteers down here. But as I said, I might be the glue that makes sure everything gets done and get people behind me because it's my family and we're all family together.
Well, you need someone who gives good direction. But you've had a bit of an issue over the last couple of months with your
not
your
only
health.
the last couple of months, I can go back to 1991.
1991.
I had esophageal cancer.
Oh right, yes.
Which I had major operation and then chemo and radiation for 6 months. After that.
That would have been what was the strength that kept you going through that?
Well, family. Prayer support from my church group. But knowing the members here wanted to know how I was. My father was still bowling here at the time, or he was down here. He might have been secretary of the club at the time, but they made the finals that year. I was able to get there on that day and just give them some support. But it went for quite a while. So from there, the Lord helped me through that, and that gave me an area with my family to give back to people because we were provided a new life in that way. In the last 2 years, I've had a couple of total knee replacements over the years.
Well, that's football, isn't it?
That's football, and basketball. But with the last couple of years, once again, the club's been really supportive of me. I usually do mission work in July each year, but with COVID, didn't eventuate.
Where do you do that mission work?
South Africa.
Oh right, South Africa.
Children's ministry, prison ministry, hospital ministry. We don't go in and build. We go in and just share a bit of gospel and love to people of South Africa.
And which people are you targeting in that mission?
Predominantly the blacks. Encouraging the blacks in their life. Even the blacks they were very mixed with their thoughts and beliefs. So as a church group, we just go in to encourage them and give them that little bit of support, especially the prisoners. You've got a prison, one cell built for 20 people, you get 70 or 80 prisoners in there. So you just try and encourage them. And the church group in the prisons is quite a big thing, so we go there to encourage.
Have you got one big inspirational story that's come out of that? That might inspire some of the listeners?
Well, there's a gentleman, a prisoner, a double lifer, but he became a Christian in the prison through a group called World Hope Ministries. And over a number of years, prisoners and the staff saw a big change in him. We interviewed him, we worked with him over several years, and 5 years ago he was released.
Oh, that is brilliant.
Because of they saw the change and the change that he was making amongst the prisoners as well. So that's an encouragement to me as a volunteer as well. Whatever you do it to encourage people.
And what's he doing now back in the community?
He's actually working with the ministry group to go back into the prisons to share his story. So it's really encouraging.
It just shows that everyone needs a second chance, don't they?
And one young lady, she was, when I first met her in prison. She was 20,
Right. Yeah.
and she had a life sentence.
Yeah.
And the situation there, she came from a Christian family, lost her way, and then while in prison she came back to know the Lord in a
Yeah.
way. And she celebrated her 21st birthday in prison,
Yeah.
and after 3 or 4 years, once again, the staff saw such a big change in her life. She was released, and now she's back in the community working with the local church.
Right.
So those sort of inspirational stories to me are inspirational to me to encourage people wherever they go, get involved and encourage people to be part of the club.
Well, everything you've said is community, family.
Yeah.
It's all about chipping in, and if you want the best help ever possible for your club, it's all the volunteers, because they're the ones that generally do the best work.
That's
So,
right, that's right.
have you got a message for all bowling clubs out there and volunteers out there?
Well,
for us?
as I said, we're getting into the Friday nights down here when it warms up a bit.
Yeah.
Because I've put it in abeyance just at this period. We're inviting the community down once again, Friday nights, build up Friday nights. My encouragement to new community members and new bowlers and families, get involved with the club. Not only just get down there and play, but become an integral part of that club by working to encourage the betterment of the club.
Yeah.
And so that's what I've done all my life, is really try to encourage people to be part of a family, join a club, but be involved in that club.
Yep. Well, everyone out there, it's your bowling club, and everyone's got to lift a finger, whether it's just taking your glass to the bar after you've finished the evening and pushing your chair in and cleaning your little spot. It all helps, and volunteers make a difference.
And the thing there is, I say to the bowlers after a pennant game, can someone make sure the floors swept or the floors vacuumed, set up, everything is done.
And one little bit that you do, even if it's just a small thing, it makes you feel better and makes
you feel part of the club.
Yeah, it makes you feel as though you've accomplished something and shared something.
Yeah. And as the ladies took it on their part to have a morning tea here today.
Yeah.
Because you're coming down, you can see what the club members have all come down to be part of the morning. So they're family.
Yeah,
and
I'll
that's
tell you
what
what,
I love about it.
There's some good home cooked meals in there too, and we're going to go and get into it, aren't we now, Graham?
Well, hopefully.
Oh, we won't need any lunch after this morning tea.
True.
Now, Graeme Jacques, thanks. Jakes. Yeah, Graeme Jacques. Thanks very much for your contribution to bowls in WA and to Maylands Club, the bowling club, because if it wasn't for people like you, our sport wouldn't prosper. So thanks very much for your contribution.
Well, thank you, and I really appreciate Bowlers WA taking what I've done over the years to give me this recognition as the Volunteer of the Year. I know I wasn't there on the night, and my son was quite embarrassed getting up, because he's only just come back to bowl.
Yeah, well, you're getting better, mate.
I'm getting better. I've been told I must use a bowling arm by the physio this year.
Are you going to use it?
So I will use it.
Yeah, right.
Work through it, make sure I get back in, because I enjoy bowling. I enjoy being part of the club, and I love volunteering and being part of the family. 40
years he's chipped in. Okay, let's find people out there that have done more than that, contributing to their club. Special guy, Graham.
Thank you.
Thank you very much again.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, mate.